Right. Welcome everybody once again. This time we're excited to have Chris back again on call. We've had Chris before. We are bringing him again, obviously, for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons this time round. But maybe I should start and I should just begin to say, Chris, welcome back. But again, for people who don't know who you are, for our new listeners, maybe you mind, introducing yourself.
David, my brother in Christ, I want to tell you, it's always good to be here with you, man. I'm Chris, CEO of Yellow Card. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I do these days.
All right. The last time
I have a lot else going on. So.
All right, awesome. I think the last time we chatted, you had much shorter hair. I don't know what happened this time around.
I don't either, man. That's the problem. It just starts growing on you. Literally.
Awesome. All right, great. But it's great to see you again, Chris. And I think again, the last time we talked, I think we talked in December 2021. Back then you guys had just raised $15 million. So just wondering, since that raise, have you guys achieved your goals? Have you met your expectations since the last raise? How does that look like?
Well, David, I'm not going to lie, I'm biased, but I sure like to think so. We're over 1 million customers. We're the only only exchange on the continent that has a license. Yeah, we're pumping and growing. So I think this, now with this new round, it's a new opportunity to just continue to push, right, and continue to be able to grow and expand, not just geographically, but on the product side as well. And so there's a lot of exciting stuff coming, right? We've done a lot over the past year, but I think I'm always I'm always more excited about the future than I am about the past. So
the last time we talked, you were expanding into several African countries. You had just launched in several languages. I don't know where you are at this time. How did that go? How is that coming along as well?
Yeah, so right now we're live in 16 countries. We have support for, I want to say 10 languages, but we keep adding them and I can't keep track, so that number might be off. But yeah, we are we're growing across the continent, right? And so I think for us, the goal has always been and continues to be in all 54 countries, right? We want to be everywhere on the continent. We want to make sure that anybody that wants this technology, needs access to this technology, can access this technology, right? And make sure that crypto is accessible everywhere. And so we're gonna continue to grow, right? We're gonna continue to roll out products that make it easier for people to be able to utilize crypto. And
this year you also announced you just hit 1 million users, right? I think that was quite a big deal. I think the big news, of course, is also you recently raised, $40 million, which I believe is, the largest raise ever of any, crypto company on the continent. Tell us a bit about that. How did that come about? How are you guys, feeling after such a, huge success on the continent?
Yeah. I think just to move backwards through those questions, I think how are we feeling afterwards? Excited, but nervous, right? It's I think people think that you raise all this money and then like that's when like the fun starts, right? It's like, no, we were able to raise this money because we're doing well. Now the pressure is to have to continue to do better, right? So it's not like we just get to go have fun and spend it, right? It's it is fun. I'm not gonna sit here and say that there's anything else I'd be doing, but there's a lot of pressure that comes with it, right? So but yeah, I think it came together really at the perfect time, right? I think I kind of saw that the market was going to be getting a little wild, right? And so we wanted to make sure that we could get it in, you know, not before things turned crazy, but we wanted to make sure that we were starting the process before things got too crazy, right? And so, fortunately, and of course, I mean, these things take months to put together, right? Fortunately, we had started that process before the market really went wild, right? And so, by the time that the markets were going crazy and things were starting to dry up, we were already, how do you say, sort of the middle to end of the process, right? So we were able to, get everything finished and signed and sorted, and yeah. So we're excited. We're excited that we were able to make it happen, especially with everything going on in the world and everything going on in crypto, and yeah, excited to use this opportunity now to really push things forward.
A lot of people ask, how do you raise in a bear market? So, it's quite amazing that you guys were able to do that. But I also, again, thanks for clarifying that you had already, began this much earlier.
Yeah, how do you raise in a bear market? The answer is you try to start right before the bear market, right? It's yeah. I mean, it's tough to say if we had started like after the Luna and everything, after all of that, it's tough to say. It's tough to say if we would have gotten it done, or not if we would have gotten it done. I think even in a bear market, there's always money available. It just takes longer, right? And so it's hard to say. It's hard to say how long it would have taken, I should say, if we had started at the wrong time. But yeah, I mean, raising in a bear market is not fun, right? And yeah, and so I think we're not looking at I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty bearish for at least the short term, right? So I don't want to how do you say, I don't want anybody to be discouraged. I think it's still very possible to raise money, especially if you're raising smaller seed funds, right? If you're trying to raise like maybe 5 million or less, it's still very, very possible. And even if you need to raise like bigger money, it's possible. It's just you should be prepared for the process to take a little bit longer if it's in a situation like this, in more of a bear market, right? So if you know that you're going to need the money in 6 months, then you should probably start the process now, right? As opposed to waiting. And in a bull market, it's a little bit easier. Things come together faster, right? And so, you can start the process a little bit closer to sort of that, how do you say, like the date that you need the money, right? But in a bear market, you should leave a little bit more time.
I think also a lot of people, and especially other people building on the continent, always wonder if there are other things they should be doing, because I think I get this question a lot, what's the secret to actually raising? Apart from what you just described, Chris, do you mind also maybe discussing a bit about actually doing the actual work, right? Putting in the work and delivering results.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're in a little bit different of a position now, having now gone through Series B and everything. I think we're in a little bit different of a position. In that we're a little bit further along, we're a little bit more established, right? I think if you look at like how do you raise for the continent, especially with the market as it is now, I think what we learned when we were going through our seed round is that there needs to be some semblance of revenue. There needs to be some, how do you say, there needs to be something to show that it's working, right? And I think
traction,
some traction, exactly, yeah, something sort of tangible, right? And I think that's kind of just the unfortunate reality of raising for the continent. I think if you're raising money for an idea that's going to be in like the US or Europe or San Francisco, then you can raise $120 million for shoes that fly without proving the concept, right? It just doesn't really work the same on the continent, is kind of what we learned, right? It took us 2 years or 2.5 years to put together our seed round, because for the first 2 years of that, we were going out and trying to raise trying to raise without having really proven the concept, without really having anything in market. It didn't really turn around for us until I said, screw this, I'm not trying to raise anymore. We're just going to focus on building, right? And that was when things really turned around, was when like we stopped trying to raise money and we just focused on building the company and generating revenue. That was when things started to turn around, right? And I mean, and it sucked, right? And I was living off of credit cards and had no money, right?
Yeah,
But
I remember you describing the last time we talked.
yeah. But it's realistically, it's just sort of what you have to go through as an entrepreneur, right? Especially on the continent, right? Because that's again, that's just sort of the unfortunate reality is it's much harder to raise for a company that has no proven concept, right? And I mean, there are examples of that happening. I would point out that all of those happened during the bull market, and we'll see if it's still possible, right? So maybe it is, maybe it's not, right? But I think once you've proven out that concept, there are a number of funds now that did not exist previously. There's Future Africa and a number of others that are focused on seed funding and that sort of thing for the continent, right? But they're going to want to see some semblance of traction, right?
Indeed. Now, speaking of traction, and obviously you guys have put in the work, I've been following your work, I think, since the early days. You've been launching products. You recently launched Yellow Pay, and you continue to grow your user base. Would you say, for example, some of these products are also helping in terms of, growing in terms of revenue for the company as well, which now adds up to, traction and actually making the company look attractive to investors?
100%, right? And so, I mean, Yellow Pay launched only very recently, right? So I don't think, I don't think that we, like, how do you say, none of that came in as the Series B was sort of closing, right? But yeah, I mean, certainly the idea is we're adding a number of products, right? We've already, Yellow Pay's already live. We have others coming, and we have a few more coming still before the end of the year, right? So we're gonna have a busy end of the year, busy Q4, and the idea is how do you continue to grow, right? How do you continue to grow that user base? How do you continue to grow in volumes and revenues? And so, yeah, that's really the big thing that we're going to be doing there is continuing to find a way to grow that.
Now, with the new funding, what do you intend to achieve with the new resources in terms of growth? I mean, do you have numbers that you anticipate now that you're going to hit new markets, you're going to enter new products that you intend to launch? How does that look like moving forward?
Yeah. I mean, of course, right. Internally, we have metrics and goals and everything that we want to hit, right. But I think what's most exciting about the fundraise is it gives us an opportunity to reach markets that other people would not be able to reach, right. It gives us an opportunity to go to countries that other people would not be able to go to, and it gives us an opportunity to be able to push out products at a much faster rate, right. And so, like I said, for Q4, right, we're gonna have a busy Q4, right? We have a couple of things coming, and we're just really excited to be getting some of these products and initiatives rolled out.
Obviously 2022 has been a good year for Yellow Card. Now, what can we expect in on a much longer time frame? Can we expect Yellow Card, for example, to be a unicorn in the future? Because looks like that's the direction you guys are taking.
Man, David, you sound like every other interviewer. That's what everybody wanted to know, man. Everybody when we announced the B, it was win moon, right? Win unicorn.
Yeah.
Look, again, I am very biased, but we are sure heading in that direction, right? And so that's the goal. Obviously, we want to cross that threshold. But I think when you talk about like hitting that unicorn status, right? I think some people see it as the destination, right? And the thing is that's not the destination. It's just another goal along the way, right? We had a goal to raise a seed round, right? And then we raised $1 $1 million for the seed round. And it's like, if that was the destination, then we wouldn't be where we are now, right? If, you know, the Series A was the destination, then we wouldn't be where we are now, right? So, you know, hitting that unicorn status, well, you know, people love to, you know, put that as the headline, and you know, you know, it's flashy and all that, right? It's realistically, it's just another goal, right? And you know, and then we want to continue to blow past that, right? And so yeah, I mean, you know, look, we're gonna continue to grow this thing, as you know, as wide reaching and as, you know, in depth as we can.
I think all we can say really, Chris, is, you know, congratulations again. I think that's a milestone for Africa. You know, we again look forward to seeing Yellow Card really grow and scale, and really I can't wait to see you back again in Kenya again. I think the last time we talked, you had to, you know, come back and sort of tell us your favorite country, which you never did.
You know, my favorite. That's right. Yeah, you asked me last time what's my favorite country in Africa, and I said, man, you're trying to start a civil war within the company, because we have people in what, 18 or 19 African countries now.
Yeah.
So I will leave you with this. My favorite country is whichever one I'm in at the time. That's
all right. Good answer. All right, Chris, thank you so much for talking to us. You know, and we look forward to, you know, watching Yellow Card, you know, hoping you guys, you know, scale even further and bigger, and, you know, truly become a unicorn on the continent.
We're gonna do what we can, man. As long as Bitcoin KE keeps covering us, we will get there.
It definitely will. We definitely will. Thank you.
Incredible. Thank you, sir.